Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar on MSP Manager 3.0, which is our new integration or our new release now integrated with MSP RMM. My name is Sherry Barnett. I am a Senior Product Marketing Manager at SolarWinds MSP, and I am joined by Brian Zimmerman, who's a Senior Product Manager at SolarWinds, and he will be walking us through some of the benefits of MSP Manager and all the new things that came with the new release. And then he'll actually be demoing the product itself as well as our new mobile app. So a couple of quick things. We will be recording this session, so if any of your colleagues have to miss this due to scheduling issues or whatever, we'll be sending you a link to the recording, so you will have that. And then if you have questions, and I hope you do, please send them along during the session, and we will get to them either during the session or afterwards. So feel free to type those into the question box. All right, we'll be going through an introduction. I'll be introducing Brian, and then he will do a demonstration of MSP Manager integrated with MSP RMM. You'll see both the RMM side and the MSP Manager desktop side. Then he'll do a demo of MSP Manager, the mobile app, and then of course we'll get to your questions. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Senior Product Manager Brian Zimmerman. Zimmerman. Take it away, Brian. Sorry.
I'm Brian Zimmerman. I mean,
Brian. Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, Sherry. And thanks everyone for joining us today. So we're really excited to announce our newest and most compelling integration yet between MSP Manager and SolarWinds RMM. In addition to that, there's a bunch of great features now available in the MSP Manager platform. This includes both the mobile app and some great new features in the web app. And all this together means that MSP Manager is a very compelling platform for your business. So first of all, what is MSP Manager? Well, it's the PSA solution that you'll actually use. PSA standing for Professional Services Automation. MSP Manager is a help desk, billing, ticketing, and time and knowledge management solution that allows you to manage all the important things required for an efficient help desk and an efficient service offering, but without the bloat that typically plagues larger PSA systems that effectively gets in your way. Put another way, MSP Manager gives you everything you need and nothing you don't. And we try to do things in a very non-prescriptive, easy to use, simple workflow way that will enable efficiency as much as possible. And of course, we do this both in the web and in the mobile. A ticketing tool. So this allows you to track inbound support requests. These are created by automated alerts from your integrated RMM solutions, such as SolarWinds RMM, which we're talking about greatly today. It also allows you to create tickets, or your customers to create tickets by sending emails to a monitored mailbox, by using a user portal, or just by calling in and you create the tickets on the fly. And you'll see later in the demo that we've really tried to optimize the workflow, as I mentioned, to be non-prescriptive and have a minimum number of fields and user input in order to create and work those tickets. You can actually have a ticket started with a time entry and an assigned users by clicking 2 fields and one button. So it's quite easy to get started, and we really are trying to be as simple and easy to use as possible. Secondly, it helps you get organized. So what we mean by that is both managing your day and your workload from a ticket perspective, both for the individual and for the team, but also managing your schedules. There's a scheduling system that allows you to see all of your appointments within a day, as well as your team appointments. But in addition, with the iCal integration, you are able to send those to your Outlook, Google, or Apple Calendar so that you can use your calendar of choice as well, and those appointments are created and sent out to you in iCal format. Now, doing the work for your customers is super important. That's the first step, but it's not the last step. Unless you're invoicing accurately and properly for those customers with effectively managed business programs, you're not really completing the picture. You won't be compensated for the work that you're doing. And more importantly, your customers, if they don't have consistent, accurate, predictable, and great billing, then they won't end up being happy customers either. What we've done with MSP Manager is we have a great workflow for creating invoices and batches that's easy, but allows you a quick process to review the invoices as well before they go out and ensure that everything's accurate, and then is sent to your accounting software of choice. You'll hear likely when I'm answering questions or during the demo, we use the word ticket to bill. We really try to make sure that we're taking you all the way from the inbound ticket request, the action to be done, through to managing that request, managing the work, tracking that work, and then sending the bill to your integrated accounting system. So one of the hallmarks of the software is its ease, and that's really what we've tried to do. Easy to set up, easy to use, easy to maintain. In the demo today, we're focusing on the integration with SolarWinds RMM, and we've really tried to take this up a notch. Your whole setup from a fully functional MSP RMM deployment with, potentially hundreds of customers and thousands of devices can be imported into MSP Manager in just 5 easy steps, and obviously more than 5 clicks, but less than 20 minutes, you can easily get yourself up and running with some business programs that match what you actually do. So we've really tried to make it simple for you to set up in a scalable way, and get your entire environment into the PSA solution. This is something that's we've worked really hard at and really have accomplished a truly automated and easy setup process. Now, getting yourself set up is only part of the battle. Once you're in there, it's got to be easy to use. So again, we get out of your way, we remove the red tape, we're non-prescriptive, we don't make you do things and workflows that you don't want to do, ensuring that you're only using the application to become more and more efficient. And finally, we do as much heavy lifting as we can from a maintenance perspective. We're a full SaaS solution using the latest technology and next generation SaaS fabric from Microsoft Azure, including a large number of microservices, release management techniques, and other SaaS service-based architecture, which allows us to benefit from great security in Microsoft and the latest technology that allows us to have global availability, redundancy, failover, etc. We have a full sharded database that is regional, so that we have the best possible performance based on the region that you're in. So we've done all the work to make sure that we're redundant and we're global, and that we'll be available when you need it as much as possible, and it does not require anything from you. There's no upgrades to install, there's no maintenance to be done. We take care of all of that. Okay, and finally, one of the great things that we're talking about today is the revamped mobile app and mobile experience. I don't know about you, but I spend a lot more time away from my screen than I do in front of my computer, and thank God for that. And one of the ways that I'm able to do this is because all my critical applications are on my mobile device. So I can leave my screen with confidence that if something really needs my attention, then I'm going to know about it. I'm going to be able to action it. There's no difference with the MSP Manager mobile app. We've ensured that you can step away from your desk without stepping away from your help desk. You can be away from your computer, but your customers are never away from the service they need. You can access all the knowledge you need. You can work tickets. You can prioritize tickets, even be proactively notified through push notifications when new tickets come in, that you have everything required to service customers on the go, no matter where you are. And that allows you to be productive not only when you're in front of the computer, but wherever you need to be, turning downtime into uptime and ensuring that your customers always have the support that they need. And you can leave your computer with confidence, knowing that you can do what you need when you need it. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and show you both the integration, the product, and the mobile app. So we'll start on the integration side of things. But while we're doing this, if there's any questions about anything I've said to this point, now would be a great time to go through that.
Yeah, there was a question. With integrated billing, will it integrate with MYOB? I am not familiar with MYOB. Are you, Brian?
So the billing integrates with QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, and Xero. So there are a lot of other accounting systems out there that it does not integrate with. But one of the features you can do is you can export a CSV of your invoices or a ticket report CSV. And a lot of other solutions that are out there that we don't integrate with do allow you to sometimes import invoice information via CSV. So if that's a function of your accounting system, then you can still use this to generate what you need. A lot of customers have done that. We found in our research that the majority of the market does use QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, so that's where we focused. But of course, as things mature, if other accounting systems represent a significant part of the base, we're always open to new ideas and new enhancements. We've got a pretty significant development focus on this product and a lot of exciting things to come. So always open to suggestions.
Okay. I think I turned over presenting to you. There we go.
Yep, you did. That's great. Okay, so first we're going to start looking here at SolarWinds RMM. This should be a view that's familiar to most of you. For those who aren't, this of course is the cloud remote monitoring and management product offered by SolarWinds, formerly LogicNow, Max RM, now proudly SolarWinds RMM. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start the integration, which is really simple. And a common question at this point is, when I'm starting the integration, is it do I have to call somebody for a trial? And the answer is no. We've really made this a self-provisioned trial in the true SaaS model that exists today. Is you're able to start the trial yourself. It's automatically provisioned for 30 days. At the end of that period, you're billed on a utility basis for the number of users that you use that are active. So you can have a user in there that's inactive, and he doesn't count towards your usage. So really, it's following that SaaS utility-based billing model, self-provision trial, and it's really easy to set up. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to fill out any forms. Simply click the button and you're good to go. The other thing I want to show you is, what if you're already an MSP Manager user? Well, that's no problem. We've got here a box for an existing MSP Manager account. You can put in the email address of the owner of that MSP Manager account. It'll ask you to authenticate in another step, but that allows you to join the two systems together. So if you're already a user and you want to just link these systems together, we'll take you through an out-of-box wizard that's focused on linking items together and doing mapping of entities. However, the out-of-box that we're going to go through is actually focused on importing and pulling over all the entities, because we're going to be going with a blank slate. The other thing is, what if you want to trial MSP Manager but don't want to turn off your existing PSA integration? That's important if you're an Autotask, ConnectWise, or Service Desk user. Well, the answer to that is you can sign up for a standalone trial and use the product not integrated with RMM. And then once you're ready to turn on the integration, you can turn off the integration with your existing system. And if it's Service Desk, you can leave it standalone in case you want to refer to data for a period of time, and turn on the integration, joining with the account in this way. And if we detect an account conflict, we're going to force you into that joining out-of-box experience, but we won't always match it up. We look at the agent primary key in RMM against the owner in MSP Manager, and if they match, we know that you're the same system. If they don't match, then you need to put it in the box there. But either way, it's real easy to do. So once I'm ready to go, simply click Next, and as I mentioned, it's going to be creating a trial for you, creating an account for you, and then we'll be walking through the simple 5-step out-of-box experience. Now, the first step in the out-of-box experience, as you can see here, is really just giving you the lay of the land of what MSP Manager can do for you. So here we're just saying, yes, it's a help desk ticketing solution. It helps you with knowledge management, with billing integration, and of course, it's a 30-day trial. You have 30 days to decide whether you will be using the service, and it's pretty competitive and affordable price on a per seat basis. If you want to just get right into the product and you can't be bothered with our setup wizard, despite how easy it is, simply click on Start with Default Configuration, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But we're going to go through the setup wizard because I'd love you to see how this works. So first step in the wizard is auto creation of tickets. By default, we have tickets automatically generated from outages in SolarWinds RMM for servers, but not workstations. Now you can turn workstations on if you have SLAs attached to them. Some people complain that workstations are actually quite noisy in terms of the outages you receive. We've got some features in the ticket routing configuration that allow you to try and suppress that noise by linking outages together when they're repeat failures or closing things automatically when the outage returns to normal. So you can turn this on with confidence, knowing you have the ability to control the level of noise and dial that up or down. But if you're not interested in workstations, you can turn that off quite easily with the click of a button. Next, we're at the program level screen. So what is a program level? Well, put quite simply, program levels are our concept of allowing you to create business frameworks that match your business programs within the software. Every PSA software out there has concepts such as agreements or contracts or service items or service descriptions. And what we're doing with program levels, we have the concept of service plans creating service items at the customer level. But what a program is a container for a number of service plans or service items that you can configure to match your business programs. Here's an example standard program that we've put in the system to get you started and to explain and show the concept. In this standard program, we're going to charge $200 monthly in a flat fee basis for every server that's in the system. We're also going to charge $20 monthly flat fee basis for every workstation in the system. And then finally, for any out-of-scope service that's not included in the flat fee, there's a time and materials hourly service item charged at $120 per hour. So this is just an example. Now, if I'm fully managed and fully fixed fee, I may have a basic, standard, and advanced program, gold, silver, bronze, for instance, where I have increasing levels of included scope. If I am a hourly based system, I may just have all hourly based service items, but maybe the rate changes based on the size of business I expect from a client. Or another common framework we see is your basic programs are really hourly clients. These are your walk-ins or your really your leads for higher level program levels, where you're going to offer them hourly services they need. And then perhaps you have retainers where customers will get a better hourly rate by signing up for a minimum monthly commitment, or then upgrade to fully managed all-you-can-eat traditional managed services fixed fee contracts, which are of course the utopia from a profitability evaluation perspective for your MSP business. But lots of customers have lots of different ways. I've literally seen hundreds of different ways that MSPs charge their customers. But what is common is that each MSP only typically has around 3, give or take, different programs that they offer their customers, with minor little tweaks here or there. And you might be the exception. But even then, having a standard offering as a starting point and customizing at the customer level later is still going to allow you to simplify your setup. So we're going to do an example here, an example setup here. I'm going to add a basic program. Or actually, I'll add the premium one first. And then I'm going to add a basic program. My standard program I'm going to keep as defined here in default. For my premium program, let's add a service plan. Now, what we've done here is given you a quick picker that allows you to select a number of offerings that we find are very common within our MSP base. In this case, I'm going to set up my premium plan to be a flat fee per user charge. So I'm going to select the custom type, name my service item, 12 months. I'll do monthly, unit cost of 200, and that quantity I'll set on a customer by customer basis. Using asset count doesn't work if you're doing users. But if I wanted to actually count the assets that match a certain asset class, I can do that very easily by using asset counts. In the basic program, in my example, the basic program will be a standard block hours type contract. So I'm going to click on block hours as an example, and this sets up an hourly retainer contract where my customers are purchasing 10 hours at $120 per hour base rate on a retainer basis, and they pay $175 an hour for overages when they've reached more than 10 hours per month. So in just a few clicks, I've set up the standard program was already set up for me, but it'd be easy to tweak that. I've set up a premium per user program and a basic program that's more of a block hours type arrangement. The types of flexibility that we have is virtually endless. It's quite extensive. However, for the purpose of this is a great example of a pretty reasonable program. Going on to the next step, this is where things really start to come together. So I mentioned that what we're doing here in the out-of-box setup is really trying to simplify what is typically a very lengthy and complicated process. Imagine if you were trying to import and create the contracts for hundreds of customers, and you had to do that one by one. That would be a massive undertaking. Thousands, tens of thousands of clicks, hours of time, and it's not a reasonable thing to ask, so we're not asking that of you. Instead, we've built our program level system where you can set up your individual unique business programs, and when you're importing your customers, you simply select which customer gets which program. And in the background, what's going to happen is we're going to create all of the service items that you had defined in the previous step on each customer level and define a default based off what you selected here. And you can change the default on a customer by customer basis. So you can see that just in a few steps, we've taken what could be a very complex operation down to a simple bulk import, assigning your standard programs. Next is importing the users. And as I mentioned, MSP Manager is built for active users. So if you have a user that isn't real, in my case, this primary access key isn't a real person, so I'm not going to enable them, and that's fine. You can do that easily. But otherwise, you can simply enable each user that you want to have access to the platform, as well as define whether they have an administrative or a standard role. Those roles are fully customizable. You can create custom roles and granular permissions very, very easily. But to start, we just have the 2 stock roles, and you can later on customize those as you see fit. Final step, I hit next, and this is my confirmation box. Now, if I hit the use default settings in the first step, this serves as a here's the decisions we've made on your behalf screen. But in this case, it's simply a review of the decisions that I made since I customized every part of the setup process. And then finally, I hit complete, and it's going to automatically set up all of my programs, all of my users, all of my customers, ticketing, settings, all in a matter of moments. On the right-hand side, you can see a few suggestions that we're making because your journey isn't done, it's just beginning. Here we're suggesting what you can do to understand the value that MSP Manager can bring to your business and make sure that you've versed yourselves with all the areas of the product so that you set yourself up for long-term success and efficiency in using MSP Manager. But once that's done, you simply click on Go to MSP Manager, and we'll launch the application. So that's the out-of-box experience at a glance, again, designed to make this process super, super simple. And really, you can do the whole thing in 2 clicks if you want, or take the time to bulk import and define your programs. And everything that I showed you here, you can define as well in the application. It's not a one-time thing, but all your data has been imported after this initial setup. So this time I'd be happy to take any questions about the out-of-box experience in general, and then we're going to fire up a system to show you what a connected system looks like and what it can do for you.
We don't have any questions on the out-of-box, Brian, but we did have a question about just security. Somebody says they have several law firms that are very security conscious. Can you talk a little bit about the security of the system overall?
Yeah, for sure. So I mentioned earlier that we're using the latest technology from Microsoft Azure in terms of its SaaS fabric. That affords us an advantage there because we're not alone in terms of trying to secure your information. Obviously, we're following best practices as much as possible within the internal application, but the container is also secured by Microsoft's measures and security protocols. So definitely we take security very seriously, and we're using architecture that does have security in mind. Additionally, there's a feature within the dashboard which is the passwords, which is actually quite exciting in terms of its use from a security perspective. So under passwords, I can actually encrypt a password where to reveal it, I actually have to put in a secret. So this secret we use as an encryption, a hash basically. If you put in the secret, we encrypt that data at rest. We are a zero knowledge system. We do not know what your password is. We do not save your secret. And the result of that is that the only way to get that back is to either find a way to break the AES 256 military grade encryption, or to have that secret. Now, in case you're worried about the risk of that, there's also an owner secret, which acts as a secondary override. Now, in the background, what we do is we actually save it twice, once encrypted with the owner secret, once encrypted with the specific item secret. But this is just an example of how you can secure passwords very securely in this system. One of the great things about a knowledge system is having all your data in one place. But if that knowledge system is putting your data at risk, it's not really benefiting you in the long term. So this is why we've created this encryption system for these knowledge items.
Awesome. Onward.
Okay, so onward and upward. Here we have a connected system. This has already been connected with MSP previously, and what you see, as I mentioned, the tickets are automatically created from outages. So what I can see here on each device is a number of outages that have been created. They say the outage status and the PSA ticket status. So I can actually open these outages. I can see all of the previous notes within a system, right? So here's actually this is an item that has some repeat failures, so it's actually had some other outages attached to it. I can easily add a note. At the click of a button, I can add a time entry at the click of a button. And I can deep link and open that ticket within MSP Manager, again, at the click of a button. And as you can see here within the ticket, all of the notes that I made within SolarWinds RMM are showing within the MSP Manager ticket as well, and this works vice versa. Any changes I make in the MSP Manager ticket get reflected back in the RMM system. Now, while we're looking at the ticket here, I do want to show you some of the other things that you can do, because there's a lot more you can do in the MSP Manager interface than you can on the RM side of things. So one of the hallmarks of the ticket is it's a single screen. We're trying to limit scrolling as much as possible. All of your actions are here on the action bar. It allows you to act on that ticket quite easily. Right, so we'll open another ticket here that's got less info. I can add a time entry within a single click. No problem. I can add an expense. I can add an appointment. I can add a note, a response, an attachment, all from within this action bar. And any of the entities that I've created get put on the timeline, and in the individual tabs allow me to filter for particular items. add a note here as an example. And we'll add a time entry as well. Now, an even quicker way to add a time entry is just to click the time widget here. I can easily start a time entry from that widget. I can pause entries. I can manage my time and have that timer run very, very easily. Back in the main help desk view, at the click of a button, it's actually quite easy for me to add additional timers. And once a timer is run, I can also easily pause that timer or stop that timer once the work is complete. Adding a ticket is also super simple. I add the customer. The service item is automatically created, and I can type in the issue. And save the ticket. If that's not quick enough for you, in the quick ticket box, you can again select the customer, select the title, click the start timer, and save ticket. So I've saved the ticket and started the timer all in one. Stopping a timer again is real easy, either from the quick ticket widget, from the ticket list, or the ticket itself. I can select the type of work, the description, which is really important because that's used in your billing, and of course the amount of time. The amount of time can easily be seen in a time log if you're looking for the details of that time in the case of multi-segments. Okay, so some of the other really important things to understand. I mentioned the knowledge system. The scheduling system allows you to see all of your appointments for the day and your customers' appointments. I want to go through the new customer wizard to show you creating a customer. And I should also mention that when you create a customer within MSP Manager, they get sent over to RMM and vice versa. So the reason we recommend actually creating the customer in MSP Manager is because there's a lot more to a customer than just the name as it is in SolarWinds RMM. But all you have to put is the name. All I have to put here is the name and click finish and it will work. But in this case, we're going to show you the rest of the wizard. So you created program levels, or I've created program levels for this MSP earlier on. I have a basic program, a lead and opportunity program, a premium program, and a standard program, but it's very easy for me to select the appropriate program for this particular customer, and it's got the service items here automatically being created. If I have something custom to create for this particular customer, I can add a new service item from a previous plan, or define a brand new service item right there. Of course, after that, creating locations is real simple. I can put in the location information, and finally, contacts can be created at the customer as well, because that's very important, including whether or not that contact is a portal admin or portal user. So this is the end user portal that you can give your customers access to, which is a URL that's specific to your company, and you can brand the color scheme as well as the logo for that end user portal. And a user can see their tickets, an admin can see everybody's tickets at the company. Either way, they have that interface to be able to create and manage tickets with your organization. Okay, so at this point, I'd be happy to take any questions about the application as a whole, the help desk, the integration. More than happy to answer anything that you guys would like to discuss. And after that, I'd like to take some time to show you the mobile app before we open the floor to any remaining questions.
Oh boy, we have a slew, Brian. So
okay.
Hold on to your hat here. So there was one question, I think you just covered it, about branding, which you could do in the portal for customers, which is great.
Yeah.
Can you add a customer to MSP Manager but not have that customer created in RMM?
So we're really trying to go for a true marriage of technology and a true marriage of solutions here. So don't think of this as a PSA integration. Think of this as two systems with a common customer and user database. And this is so that we know that when you're talking about customer A in one platform, it matches customer A in the second platform without having to do any complicated entity mappings. In addition, same with the users, we're integrated with SSO, so the username and password you have for RM is the same as you'll have for MSP Manager, and we've ensured that that's the case. And so because of that, we have to, make sure those emails are globally unique, and we have to make sure that user abc at test.com equals user abc at test.com. So there's a lot of it's pulling from a common database. That's the way to think of this integration. That's one of the reasons why it's easier and more compelling. So in that to that perspective, when you create a customer in MSP Manager, that customer will be created in MSP RMM. You don't have to do anything with that customer, but they'll be there because it's important to have that common database. We are considering in the future having a lead or opportunity type customer who does not show up on the dashboard, simply because those customers are not things that you'll ever really manage if they're more on the lead and prospect side of things.
Okay. Is there a way to handle documentation / configurations? This person says, we usually have backups to firewall, router configs, alerts for warranty expirations, etc. that are pulled from the network documentation.
Yeah, so you can set up expiry dates, and there will be alerts for those expiry dates. Those can be expiry dates for renewals, for warranties, anything that you want, as well as serial numbers can be saved here. Network configuration documents as well. You can set up your network config notes, and for more of your general notes, there's your procedures, which allow you to document anything else from procedures you follow to SOPs for setting up your servers, to standard network configurations to that you need to implement or have implemented. So that's all documented in the procedure section if it doesn't fit into the specific network expiry or serial numbers. And this is in addition to the passwords. And all of this is, as we mentioned, is available on the mobile app as well as within the web.
Okay. The person who asked the branding question was saying, we need ticket emails to carry our logo and our custom text in their responses. Is that something that we support?
So at the current time, it's something that we're working on. So we actually had that in a beta, and we paused the beta to action some feedback, and we'll be restarting the beta probably later this month. And that beta is basically an editor that allows you to. It's an HTML editor that allows you to customize everything about those notification emails, including adding your own links for logos or basic C4 encoded logo information or things of that nature.
Great. Are procedures searchable? And I guess to extend that, is the knowledge base searchable?
Absolutely. So you can easily search for any item simply at the top here. You've got a search that searches within the context, and here my context is all customers, so it's quite easy to search my procedures.
All right. There's another question about, is there a customer facing knowledge base? I think that's something that Service Desk does. Is that something that we're eventually going to add to MSP Manager?
It's something that we don't have today. And it is something that we are listening and hearing about whether or not it's important, and definitely actively considering. It's not something that I can say is in the immediate future, but certainly we see the value, at least in being able to attach articles to tickets. The feedback we often get, though, is a lot of MSPs will want a publicly available and searchable knowledge base for their customers to go and help themselves, but they don't actually do it that much. So it's we're certainly open to and interested in feedback of to what degree is public knowledge and what form does public knowledge need to take to meet your needs.
Got it. All right, I will let you. There are more questions, but you keep going, or we're going to run out of time here.
Okay, so I'll just take a moment to maybe one more question there, Sherry, while at the same time, if you could make other me presenter. Okay, perfect.
For you? There we go.
Yep,
Okay,
I am sharing my screen right now. Took a moment to start, but here we go. Okay, so we talked about the mobile app. Lots of exciting things here here to talk about. The first and foremost, though, what I want to talk to you about is the timers. So when I've created a timer on the web, you can actually see that they're down here at the bottom. I can see my running timers. I can start timers. I can stop timers. I can easily add notes to time. Any of my time management that I was doing within the web app, I can easily do within the mobile app as well. And they're not separate entities. They're just different windows into the same thing. So I work on an issue, I leave my desk and I say, oh darn, I forgot to add my notes and stop that timer. It's very easy for me to make my notes here. And for me to stop the timer or pause the timer until I'm back at my desk, just in a few clicks of a button, and that syncs real time with what you see within the web app. So just for completeness here, I'm going to stop these timers, and we'll show you the best way to show you the mobile app is to actually talk about technicians in terms of a day in their life. So if I first wake up and roll out of bed, the very first thing that I'm going to do is look at, what is my ticket queue look like for the day, or more than just for the day, what do I have on my docket? So I'm going to open this up, my tickets for all customers, and I see that I have an exchange down ticket that is a higher priority. So yeah, that looks pretty important. So let's look at this. If I look at the updates here, what's the detail here? Has this been worked? And actually, it looks like an appointment's been scheduled, as well as there's been some time where one of my colleagues has worked on this. So I don't need to do anything here. That's great. I can easily survey the rest of the issues that I happen to have, the rest of the tickets that I happen to have, and when I survey, there's nothing that is, super pressing here. So what I'm going to do is go to my schedule and look at what does my day look like. So here I can see all the appointments for the day. Clicking on this allows me to drill down into a detailed view of those appointments, including the associated tickets. If I look at one individual ticket, I can easily see that for this one appointment, I have to create or create a new laptop for this particular customer. The updates show me what's happened so far. An appointment's been scheduled. There's been some triaged issue. And they've already tried to replace some hardware, but couldn't get the issue resolved, so they've dispatched the new PC. So I know what's going on. If I need to understand, where is this appointment? Looking at the appointment, I can see the location right there, and clicking on this location brings up directions with the integrated Google Maps. So I can find out where to go literally with the click of a button, and I'm on my way. So super simple, super integrated with your your phone's just general function. And we'll talk later about some of the systems here, but you can actually look up your information, your customer information as well, by linking to that particular customer. If I want to look on the appointments just in general, let's see what I have for the day in total, I can easily click on the locations tab, and this shows me a bird's eye view of everything that I have to do for that day. I can look at appointments that may be too far and understand, what I have to do and when. And I can action that appointment from here. Look at, hotels, petrol stations, get directions very, very easily from within that view. Back over to the appointments view. Here's another example of an appointment, and of course here I can look at those tickets, drill into the particular customer. Customer's information. I can see locations. I can see any contacts that have been created. I can see any assets that have been created. I can see any knowledge articles that have been created under this customer and reference those knowledge articles, any tickets, any scheduled appointments, any details, very, very easily, all within that system. Now I'll show you, we'll use another example here. And I'll choose one of the other customers. Show an example of some of the assets here. So here's an asset that's integrated with MSP RMM. And I can open this asset and actually see, again, a link to the location. I can see all the tickets that are associated. I can see all the outages that are associated. I can easily work those tickets right from within this asset list as well. I have the ticket list and the customer as well. Searching customers is super easy. And actually the search is quite exciting. Not only is it easy to search customers, but I can switch to all the different entities to search assets, customers, things of that nature, and link directly to those assets or directly to those customers, etc. Remote control as well is available on this app. So if I need to actually fix an issue, I can do so literally at the click of a button. That works both with the integrated Take Control or with the integrated Team Viewer. Either way, I am able to remote control that device from the mobile app, provided the device is online. So that was my mistake here. So this is really just a taste of what you can do. There is more to talk about in this mobile app, but what I want to make sure we have is enough time to answer some of your questions. Sherry did say there were a lot of them, so I definitely want to make sure that I can answer those. A couple other things to mention: there is an activity log. There's very granular settings for notifications, push notifications, things of that nature. There are push notifications that come in. You can create tickets. You can create locations and use my current location. And not only is all this great, but there is even going to be more coming in the future to give you the best mobile experience we can.
Okay. Yeah, we do have a lot of questions. There's a few folks, by the way, who I've indicated will give you a call. You have fabulous questions, and we have so little time that I don't want to shortchange you. So I'm going to make sure that folks get in contact with you so that you can spend more time with them. I'm just saying that in general. Anybody can reach out, but there are a few of you where I've sort of said, no worries, we'll give you a call. But some simple stuff. Is the mobile app free, and what platforms does it work on? I think they mean like iOS and stuff.
Yeah, so it works on iOS and Android. And yes, it's free. The way we think of this is you're not buying a web app or a mobile app. You're buying a platform, a business platform, a solution to a business problem, and a platform that gives you that solution. And we need that platform to be available in the via the mediums that matter to you, and more increasingly that's mobile. So we're committed to ensuring that you have a great mobile experience as well as a great web experience within the platform.
Great. Does the appointment sync with 365 Outlook calendar or other calendars? I think you said that it works off iCal, right?
Yeah, so it sends, we did this to be as cross-platform as possible. Basically, when you create an appointment, it sends an iCal alert to your inbox, and that iCal can be added to pretty much any calendar that's out there, Google, Apple, Outlook, Office 365, everything of that nature.
All right. Let's see. God, sorry, gang. I'm rifling through.
I will mention while Sherry's finding the next question there, if she says that, we'll contact you for the questions. Some questions, the disadvantage of a webinar is really, if it's any more than a 5-minute answer, it can't really be, and if it requires a dialogue, it can't really be answered in this forum. So those questions are pretty exciting, though, and we will get in contact with you to give you the right answers, and are happy to walk you through things and to really show you what this can do for you.
Yep. Yeah, we just don't want to shortchange you. um, so a question about, will we be localizing this in the future with other languages besides English?
Yeah, so it is the plan to internationalize and localize the application. It's something the team's working on right now. We've got a prototype that is localized in a couple languages. And so we are planning to do that. It's a high priority item. Currently in the well, it's hard to say it's more of immediate application than they're working on it currently, but it's something that you can expect in the near term.
Okay. This person said, maybe I missed it, but can you use phone functions like the camera when you're using the app on your phone?
You didn't miss it, but I'm glad you brought it up. So if I want to add an update, it's actually quite easy, quite great to do that. So in certain, I may need to take a photo of a particular problem or a particular area, and I can easily do that and take that picture and add that to the ticket, all within a couple seconds.
Is that a guitar?
It's my stand-up bass, actually.
Wow, man. That's great. Sorry. All right.
The only disadvantage of doing, or the advantage of doing a webinar at 9 o'clock at night is you get to do it beside your bass.
Exactly. Or beside your cats, as the case may be.
There you go.
Yeah. So there's one other thing about pausing timers. How many timers can you have running simultaneously?
There's no theoretical limit. I'm sure there's a practical limit, but we haven't limited it to to 2 or 5 or anything like that. That being said, if if you're starting 1,000 timers, there might be a problem. That's not related to the system.
Yeah, your business is you maybe need more people at that point.
Yeah.
So there was sort of a follow-on question about within a procedure, like are things keyword searchable? So if you've got a procedure that talks about, a particular customer setup, can you search to find that particular procedure within the knowledge base?
We don't have the concept of keywords or tags. That is something that we're considering for the future. Okay. But what you're asking is, does it search the actual to what extent does it search the internals of it? Let me get back to you guys on that, and just to give a sense of where things are at. The reason I say that is because we have made some changes to search recently, and there are some other changes scheduled, so I want to make sure I give you a full answer on that one.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the questions that you guys sent in, other than really long ones that I promise we will just contact you and talk through in their entirety, because I want to make sure that, again, you get the answers that you're really looking for. So, Brian, is there anything else you want to end up with here before we close out?
Well, just to I guess I can show a couple of the other things on the mobile app here. So let's look at some of the settings. So we have notifications, and you can actually granularly say, what different things do I want to get notifications for, right? Tickets from my assigned customers, tickets assigned to me, ticket responses, completed tickets, ticket requests, or just turn them off, on and off entirely. Again, also I have my passcode or touch ID, so I can actually set up a passcode or a touch ID if your device supports it. Unfortunately, mine does not, for login. And the important thing there is, it's, if you have a fast and efficient mobile app, well, that's great. But if it takes you 20 seconds to log in, that's not doing you any favors. So we've made sure to use the next generation, yet still secure options in terms of other logins. So that's a good sense of just a couple of the other things that you can do with the mobile app. And I guess in conclusion here, we're real excited about the offering, and I did mention that this is not that this is not the end for MSP Manager and the mobile app in terms of the feature set that we'll have. We do have a significant focus on this product. We have a great team, and we have a lot of exciting things in the future as well. So we're definitely looking for your feedback. Happy to have any input that you have, but we really feel that we've got a good basis here, a good platform, and some really good workflows and philosophies that we're excited to offer you and excited to build on in the future.
Great. Well, thank you, Brian, tons for taking the time to walk everybody through this, and thank you all for attending. Fantastic questions, great engagement. Thank you. It certainly makes our evening go much better to have all of you so into what we're showing. So thank you. All right. Have a great day, all of you who have the entire day left. And I think Brian and I are gonna head off to bed at this point. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Cheers.